Today is lesson 4.6 Algebra, Associative Property of Multiplication. Our essential question is how can you use the associative property of multiplication to find products? Our problem of the day is Betty put 4 photos on each page of her photo album. If she filled 6 pages, how many photos did Betty put in her album? Well, I know using the cubes method that I have numbers 4 and 6, so I would circle those. I'd underline the question, which is how many photos did Betty put in her album, and I would box the clue words, how many. And so now I know that this is either repeated addition or multiplication. So I could do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, or I could do 6 times 4, and both equal 24. So repeated addition or multiplication. So my answer is A. Our vocabulary term that you'll see today is the associative property of multiplication. This is when the grouping of the factors is changed, the product is the same. It is also called the grouping property of multiplication. So it really doesn't matter how they're grouped, it always equals the same. So for example, right here, I have 2 times 1 equals 7. So I can also do, this can also equal 2 times 1 times 7, and they are going to equal the same thing, which is 14. So for example, here, I have 5 times 2 times 5. So what I can do here is I can do 5 times 2 times 5, and that both equals 50, because 5 times 2 equals 10 times 5 more is 50. Another example would be 2 times 2 times 5. And so I could set this up by making it easier. 2 times 2, which is 4, times 5, and that would equal 20. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take this 3 times 3 times 4, and I want you to change it so that you're grouping it to make it easier. So you would be grouping the 3's together, and then I want you to multiply them. We know when we're using parentheses that we need to do the parentheses first. So going back over this first one, we need to do the parentheses first. So 1 times 7 is 7, times 2 would be 14. Or for example here, 5 times 2 equals 10 times 5 equals 50. So always do the parentheses first. Make sure to turn this in when you are done.